I'm Charlie Terry from Seek Marketing here in the UK. We've partnered with the Italian Embassy here in London to bring some actionable tools and insights to various areas of e-commerce when targeting the UK customer. This particular video will provide an insight into influencer marketing and more generally on the importance of high quality content. Influencer marketing is a strategy that businesses use to promote their products and services whilst partnering with people who already have a large or niche engaged audience. The term typically refers to popular social media users or bloggers. However, an influencer is anyone that has a large or engaged audience or can be seen as an authority in a niche. These audiences can be extremely powerful when looking to generate awareness for your product or service and can actually help to increase sales. The majority of brands, currently around 60%, have a standalone budget for content marketing, and 75% of these brands intend to dedicate a budget to influencer marketing. Partnering with influencers is a key element of small and large businesses' marketing strategies. As an agency, we've also worked on hundreds of campaigns with small local brands utilising influencer marketing. Some of the benefits that influencer marketing has provided these brands are reaching a bigger audience, building trust for your brand, growing your social media community or following, testing products and getting feedback from customers, getting low cost and high quality content, increasing website traffic, and ultimately driving more sales. The right influencer can reach your target audience, drive engagement, and ultimately increase sales. It's also very important to evaluate the quality of the content that the influencer is going to produce for any campaign. The standard will reflect the high quality content that your brand should be producing. So influencers typically work better when they're allowed to have a bit of creative freedom, but definitely give them guidance on how to use or display the product. It is crucial that you only work with social media influencers whose content aligns with your brand vision and your values. Some of the things that you might want to consider are also the relevance and who their audience is and how engaged their profiles are. So not just how big the following size is. Audience relevance is crucial, as I said. So if the audience is, for example, mainly over 35 years of age, and you've got a product that's designed for teenagers, you might want to tweak the type of influencers that you're outreaching to. So how many people are likely to see your product if you do find the correct influencers and partner with them? Well, it does matter how many followers they have or the size of their mailing list or how many views they get on their content. And lastly, I'd probably say most importantly, you're going to want to look at that level of engagement. So how many followers they have and then how many people are actually interacting with their posts. If the total size of the following is huge, but they've got no engagement, it's not going to actually drive the traffic. So essentially the number of followers or subscribers isn't the only thing that matters. We want relevant, engaged audiences that are aligned with your brand. The key thing here is authenticity and trust. If the audience trusts and respects the opinion of the influencer that you're working with and that you're choosing to partner with, they're more likely to purchase as a result of the recommendation. Without trust, we're going to struggle to see a tangible business impact from your influencer marketing efforts. Over the last few years, we've seen a huge increase in the rise of influencers and brands working across social media, and I really would recommend exploring it for your brand. Scrolling through your feed, you'll likely see products and services promoted by seemingly ordinary people who've worked to grow a following within their niche. When influencers tell their fans and followers about your product and how they use it, how they enjoy it, there's a huge chance that they will actually engage with your brand, follow you, and maybe buy. Typically, the seller or marketer will offer a bespoke discount code or a link that's specifically for that influencer so you can track the results. I've mentioned it before, the follower numbers aren't everything, but I would really track that traffic they drive. Smaller influencers can have a large impact on brand awareness and sales, so don't discount them. Don't be afraid to ask any influencer for their social media account statistics to demonstrate previous success or get insight into their audience. If you're paying influencers to create content for you and they're marketing your brand, you can have as little or as much involvement as you like. Lastly, I would recommend either speaking to an expert or doing some research, as there are laws and regulations around what ads can be displayed and how they need to be displayed. So I would recommend looking online before delving into an influencer marketing project. I now want to talk about the content piece generally and the importance of high quality content. Yes, using influencers is a great way to generate content with an authentic feel, but of course, there's secondary value there of their audience size. However, content can come in many forms. So without high quality content, your social media, your SEO, your paid targeting, even your emails can suffer. Content is an asset that your business can use to tell its story, inform your customers, and attract potential new customers. Some of the different forms of content you might want to consider: blogs or website updates, photography and videography, email content, audio content, maybe podcasts, and the best one, of course, user-generated content from your customers. High quality, consistent content production establishes your credibility, builds trust, and strengthens your reputation. One of the great things that I love about content is it's extremely visible. You know, have a look at your competitors, look at what they're posting, look at what influencers within your niche are posting to help inspire what content you can create. I do have a professional tip for you. Try to remember that the best content for your brand might exist outside of your competitor profiles or even your industry sector. So try looking outside of your industry for examples of amazing content. And remember, you must keep in mind the platform you're creating content for. For example, people go to platforms like Pinterest and Instagram for beautiful visuals, so give the people what they want. When we often see people posting images with heavy text on Instagram, for example, and it just doesn't perform very well statistically. We touched on SEO in an earlier video, but I wanted to touch on the power of content releases on your website, so potentially via the blog. Typically, the easiest way to acquire traffic to the website via the content you release is by using this kind of blog or news function. So the form of content it provides value to the customer, of course, and it also has the potential to show up on Google forever. I'd recommend, if you're writing for Google, to focus on questions that your customer might ask. If you then write content that answers those questions, you're increasing the chances of acquiring new customers on platforms like Google. So frequently asked questions sections are great. If you want to go one step further, you can then reposition the same content into a series of social media posts, linking back to the original blog post on your website. This strategy, it works extremely well when combined with an SEO strategy and a paid targeting strategy. Lastly, my favorite, user-generated content. What is user-generated content, or UGC? It can be any type of content generated by real people rather than you as a brand. So brands will often share this UGC on their social media channels, and it really just adds to that authentic feel of the content output. What it does offer brands is an important credibility boost, also content at a very low cost, and the UK audience is very used to this form of content. In particular, millennial and Gen Z customers are very unlikely to order from a brand if there's not many kind of tagged images or user-generated content that's available for them to digest. If you're not incorporating UGC into your marketing, you're missing out on a very powerful tool which can lead directly to increasing your sales. If you don't have any user-generated content, you could consider gifting your content to people in exchange for content. Just a quick tip of how to generate UGC really quickly. We have now reached the end of the series where we've touched on various areas of the e-commerce landscape. The expectations of the customers here in the UK and the tactics you can use when trying to grow your revenue online are plentiful. And like I said, I would do a lot of research and potentially speak to an expert if you're looking at some of the areas we've discussed. On behalf of the Italian Embassy here in London and us at Seek Marketing HQ, thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the best on your e-commerce journey, and don't hesitate to reach out to myself or our team if you have any questions. Thanks again.